and it helped a lot of us know to understand what's the ALM process and in detail about how to kickstart with it and expertise on it. So so moving forward, this is the next session which I'm talking about code analysis and solution checker for D365 model-driven apps in Azure DevOps. So this is about me. My name is Pradesh Dhayalan. I work as a senior consultant in Tech Mahindra, Singapore. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and an MCSC also. You can see my LinkedIn, Twitter, and email details here. And moving forward to the agenda of the session. So agenda of the session is going to focus on like static code analysis. So we're going to do a static code analysis. What is static code analysis? And we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to move to the Git branch policies. We're going to talk about what is Git branch policies, how to enable a gated check-in in a Git repository, and then how to add it to the build pipelines and about that. And also, we're going to talk about what all the my favorite code analysis tools, like what's available in the market. You may differ, but I'm going to list it out like what's my favorite code analysis tools and what I'm using on my daily basis. And the next one is about the Power Checker. I think Dani has given a quick introduction about what Solution Checker is all about. We're gonna deep dive into it, what Solution Checker is all about, and how it's really used in the pipeline, and how it can be used to continuous integrations. And actually the demo on the whole part, on the code analysis, and then the Solution Checker. Okay. So what? Okay. So static code analysis. So what is static code analysis? Static code analysis is the best described as a methodology on automating and examining source code before a program runs. It's the greatest advantage of having a static code analysis. Like you can get a early feedback, and you can have best practices built in your system. It can save a lot of time and money, and uh, and also of course no when you're writing code, there'll be always a manual code review process, but an automated process will be really helpful and time effective for you. So we're going to talk about like how we going to enable a static code analysis in the Azure DevOps pipeline, and let's get started. So in order to do that, so what I'm going to do is, in order to enable a static code analysis in the build pipeline, I'm going to enable a grid branch policies. So what is branch policies? Branch policies are nothing but in a TFS we used to call as a gated check-in. In a similar way, in a Git repository where you can have a branch policies defined. So whenever a commit is pushed to a branch, you can automatically run a build pipeline which executes and push the artifacts to it, so that at the later stage of the DevOps operations in the release pipeline, you can catch that and do an enumeration on top of it. So this is the Git branch policies, and without wasting any time, I'll directly jump into DevOps. Okay, so I want to brief before that, I want to brief like what it's already been there. So this is my code repository where you can see like I have a list of items here, my plugins, my unit test cases, my solutions and solution managers, and the web resources. I have all the things in here. So I'm also using the thing which Dharani told, the solution unpacking. So once there is any changes in the repository, I will only any change in the code, I will unpack it first. I'll unpack it, and then I'll get the solution into the repository and then unpack it, and then I'll check in everything into my branch. So I say, for example, for the demo purpose, I'm using a feature branch. So from the feature branch, I will be pushing to a dev branch, and the dev branch will push to the master branch. On each stage of the branch, we'll have the code analysis, and we're going to see like how it's going to happen. So this is the brief, like how the code repository is maintained. And so in the repository, I'm going to show like what all branches I have. So I have a master branch, I have a quality QA branch, and then a feature branch, and then a dev branch. So for the demo purpose, in order to build all these things and put into assembling all these things will be a huge task. So for the demo purpose, I have pre-built everything, and but I'm going to walk through like how do you do it. So, uh, so this is the master. So this is a dev branch. Okay, let's go to the master branch. So this is a master branch. You can see a symbol. It says branch as a policies. So I'm using a Git repository. So this Git says like it has a branch policy. So what is a branch policy? How do you define it? So once you create a branch, when you go there, it asks says branch policies. So you can go into the branch policy and say like what all the things you want to protect this branch for. Say for example, I want to have a minimum number of reviewers. I want to have a n number of reviewers to review this code before doing the operations. And if I want to link any work items to it before merging the request, and if I want to check the comments on it, you can check it. And also build validation, where this is where we're gonna set our build definition. So if the build has been successful, it will allow you to merge it with the master branch. The master branch is protected in such a way that it will not allow you to merge it into a master branch only if the above criteria, if you are given any specific criteria for it, it success all the criteria, only then it will be merged to the master branch. So I'm going to I'm going to the pipeline. I'm going to show like how does it look like. So this is the build definitions what I have. So I am just in here. I'm not using any code. I'm not using any code quality checks, which is a resharper thing. So uh, I've just Nuget restored it, and then I'm gonna check the automatic quality checks, and I'm building a solution and I'm testing it. So once you save this, you can go to your branch and then add this as your branch policy. So I'm going to go to the branch, and then I'm going to show how do you add it really. So we go to the branch, and if I say add a build policy, you can choose like what all build pipelines we have. We can select it, and whether the trigger is an automatic or manual, and whether it's policy required or not. If it's optional, it will not run, and if it's required, it will run, and other properties. Okay, in such a way that you can put your build pipeline whatever you want it to there. So this is about the making your branch protective, enabling a gated check-in in your branch. So this is about that, and we're gonna move towards code analysis tools. So few of the code analysis tools which I use for code validation violation defects is like FXCorp and ClockSharp, which are there are many more, but these two I would use for the code validation checks. And code metric qualities, we have a SonarCube or SonarCloud, which are like an online. SonarCloud is an online thing. We can use it for you can build your you can check you can create your organizations and projects inside the SonarCube cloud, and you can add your integrated with Azure DevOps in order to produce a build quality report inside it. So this is about the quality metric tools and style checking. We have a style corps algorithm, style corps, which you can add as an extension in order to run inside your Visual Studio. You can right click and run a style corp, which will give you a results, and based on it, you can enable a style checking using a style corps. And 18 Smith is also a good one. So these are a few static code analysis, but what we're going to use is for the demo purpose is SonarCloud. So I'm going to move towards the SonarCloud, and I'm going to show you like what it's there. So this is the SonarCloud. So people who are new to SonarCloud, I'm going to just simply walk you through like how we can really integrate with Azure DevOps. So you can create a free trial version if you want to play around with it. The free trial version is always available. And this is the account I have. And if you want to add, this is a project I have. We can create our own project. And in the project, you can once the project is created, you can create a service connection here. Go to the project settings, and then the service connection. See, I've added my SonarCloud here. And likewise, you can add a likewise you can see new service connection, and then go to the SonarCloud, and then you should get the token. So now to get the token, you can go here and then just a second. Okay, in the security area, where you can generate your tokens and then paste your tokens inside the service connection and verify it. Likewise, I've created my SonarCloud service connection. So in the same way, so it's been added. So let's see like how can we integrate it with our branch policies. So if you look at the master branch as a branch policies, it says it needs a pipeline code quality data check-in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check what's the pipeline I've set is D365 PRAD/continuous integration dot master. This is the build pipeline. So let's see like what's inside it. So inside the pipeline, I have a NuGet restore, which restores all the value, and then prepare analysis on SonarCloud. So what it does is it just prepares the what all the necessary components. See for example, the service point I've connected. So the service points I've just now shown you what's that. So the SonarCloud is a service endpoint, and then the organization I have created and created the organization which will automatically come based upon the service connection whatever you give. And the project key is nothing but when you create a project in the SonarCloud, you will get a project key. So you can see the keys here. So you can copy paste the key here and then put it inside it. And then the other properties. So once code has been checked in from a feature branch from a branch to a master branch, which a pull request triggered. So it just builds all the code using build solution ms build and building all the files inside my solution. So this is where the run code analysis. So it just analyzes the code. The SonarCloud takes a solution file and runs all the code whatever inside it and runs the code analysis of it, and then gives us the appropriate report out of it. And next I have is a VS test. So whatever unit test cases I'm having inside the pipe inside my solution, I'm gonna see I'm referring as this project, this DLL. So this DLL will execute whatever the unit test cases it does is it will execute and will give you the result. If in case any test cases fails, automatically the build will fail and publish quality gate result. So once another code analysis is run successfully or it may fail, so it just publishes its quality gate result, and you can find the quality gate result in the artifacts. And next, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to once the master branch has been in the build process itself, I'm using the Power Apps platform tool installer, which Dharani showed us. I'm just packing the solution which I unpacked in the Visual Studio. So I've unpacked it and I push it into the artifacts. So this is the process. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly demo it like let's say we are writing an unused code or a discrepancy code inside a plugin. So I'm going inside a plugin. This is my plugin. I have my code inside here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say edit, and in the edit, so this is like an exception violation because just declared a method, but there's no styling and then no declaration, nothing is there. So it's like an empty method. So in the coding standards, we shouldn't have this method. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come with this. So I'm the feature branch now. So I'm going to come with this change. So I've committed this change. So I have already in order to cut time. So I have already a pull request which is pushes to master from the feature branch, which regularly it's not the regular operation where we'll always push it to the dev branch from the feature branch, and then from the feature it will go to the master branch. But in order to cut time, so I already have a pull request. This is the pull request. So you can see like our so it's pushed to the master branch. So before it's pushing, it's running all the code quality build definition. It's running. So let's go inside it and see what's happening there. This is going to take some time. So before it runs, I'm going to walk you through on how do we work on the release management. So in order to push the release management, so what I'm going to do now is so so one more property. So before going to that, so one more property I forgot to explain to you is the branch policy itself. We have something called a status policy. So the status policy, what happens is in the status policy, it just enables to allow us to add the gated check-in inside our operations. So in order to get this SonarCloud quality gate, so if you check right, status to check is asking. So what is the status to check? So status to check is nothing like so whenever there is a pull request, we need a status to check. So in order to build that in the SonarCloud, where you can go to the project and in the administration area. Okay, I'm not inside the project, so in the administration area, I have a general settings. In the general settings, in the pull request, you can say like what is the pull request providers. My pull request provider is the Azure DevOps, and I have to. So I've already added a personal token here. So how do you get the token? I'll show you like how do we get the token. So if you go to your profile, there's something called personal access token. So you can say like what's the you can create a personal access token. So let's say I'm giving like SonarCloud, and in the SonarCloud you can say like in the source code I'm giving you permissions to read and write, and then I'm saying create. So it just gave me the SonarCloud token. So you can copy the token and come here and then change it here. So since I've already done it, so I'm not going to do it again. So once it's done, this is done. So you can go to your branch policy again, and if You can see like there is a SonarCloud quality gate has been enabled. You can use that and make it as a required thing for the build definition. So I've already added one, so I'm going to delete the duplicate. So in this ways, we are adding a status policy to our build definition. So let's go to the pipeline. So this is the pipeline which is running. So it's built it and the code analysis has been run. So it's just running all the tasks, whatever there in the build definition. It just completed the task. Let's go and see like. So in the test, we see like I have two test cases. Just for demo purpose, I've added only two. So it's there and an extension where you can find like some maintainability code error here. So let's go and check the report. So it says like there's a maintainability rating A code. Where you can find like there is a problem with our code. So it's telling like these are like a critical issue which is not being addressed. See, so this is the method. This is the place like we added a no code. It throws an error saying like this method is not used. It's a critical issue which is not addressed at all. At least it should have a not supported exception. So let's go and fix this issue and then again we try to merge it. So I'm again going to the pause and the feature branch, and then I'm going inside the solution area, sorry, plugins area, and then the plugin class. I'm going to say edit. So which is inappropriate. So I'm going to remove this. So I've committed the change. So we still haven't merged it to our master branch. So let's use the same pull request. So another build pipeline is triggered and it is running now. This is going to take some time. It needs to run a code analysis and the test, VS test and all. So yeah, explaining the SonarCloud, like we can get the overall the report from the last build. So you can check like what's happening with the code, or what's the vulnerability, what's the bugs, and what's the code smells, the manageability, and the code coverage for the test cases. So I haven't done any test cases, so it's showing 0%. But if we have enough number of test cases, this should be really up to a good number. And you can have everything is. I'm giving a very high level about the SonarCloud, but it's a lot more capable of doing it. And you can define the what are the rules you should want to be defined, and you can set the criteria level also, whether it's a bug, whether it's a critical issue. So that's for C#. You can see that there's a 396 rule sets. So you can say like you can go to any rule set or can add a new rule set saying like which is critical, which is low, which is medium, which is high priority. You can define everything here in the project. We don't want this. So it's building the solution. Sorry about that. So let's take some time to build it. So run it. So I'm going to the release area. So our last release build definition was successful. So how do we enable a creator check-in? So once the source code has been pushed to the commit, so next process is to release it to the adding a continuous declaration, release it to the subsequent environment. So I'm going to edit and show like what I've done here. So so I've created a release pipeline. In release pipeline, the artifacts, the trigger is if you check the trigger, it's whenever there is a build successful in the build pipeline, it just automatically triggers this release. And in the stage task, I am pushing it to the subsequent environment. Say for example, if it is dev, I'm pushing it to the SIT. So before this action happens, I need some pre-deployment conditions. So what is that? So the pre-deployment conditions, I've said like after it triggers, what you should do is you should enable gates. Okay, gate is based upon the sonar quality gate status. Remember, we enabled this in the build pipeline. So you can go and add like I need a sonar quality gate status check. So if the gate status check is good, then it will allow you to go to the next action, do the next action. But if the SonarCloud quality gate status is error, is failed, it will not allow you to execute to the subsequent tasks. So this is the explanation. Let's see this in action. So the release 7, where our last thing failed, if you remember, our pipeline got failed because of the no code validation. So you can see like the 5:32 p.m. it got failed. The get a check-in got failed. So let's see what's happening with the it is installing the Power Platform tool installers. So it's got failed, so I'm gonna abandon this. Let's what we say. Let's abandon this. I'm gonna cancel this. Okay, so it's not deployed because of the gate failed. You can see like yeah, the pre-deployment gate failed because this is an auto trigger. So whenever we push the code to the master band, the build runs, and whenever the build runs successfully, it takes that and then triggers the release. So our release got failed because the pre-deployment gates, which failed because of the one violation in the code. So it's now successful. I have removed the piece of code, the violation code. So if I go to the extension, which says now the gate quality is passed. Now you can see like the gate quality is passed and the severity and reliability is all good. So let's see whether the release is got triggered or not. So the release 8 is triggered. So the release 8 is running now. It's now processing the gates now. So in this way, you can use the least deployment to add a gated check-in in your environments. You look at the artifacts. The artifacts will have the build components, the solution which packed it for our release. So this will take some time. So we'll move forward with the next operation. So next part of the demo. So next part of the demo is like a Power Apps Solution Checker. Dhanik already gave a good introduction about what is Power Solution Checker is. Solution Checker actually performs a rich static analysis check on your solutions against a set of best practices, rules, and quickly identify these problematic patterns. So if we have any vulnerabilities in your code or any duplicated solutions, duplicated methods you're using in your code, which will be identified using this solution picker, you can choose any of your solution and run a solution checker against it. What it does is it just gives a quick analysis out of it. It is also available outside as a commandlet, so you can use it run against any solution at any point of a time. And also in the Power Apps, you can run in the new experience, make that powerapps.com, where you can right click any solution and run a solution checker on top of it. We'll run the solutions, and it will give you the output in an Excel file where you can find like what's your problem, or whether it is healthy enough to be deployed in the other environments. And the components mainly analyzes the common data service plugins, custom workloads, web resources, and then the configurations such as SDK messages. And few of the very high critical severities is like I'm going to list listed very top three one which I found like. So for example, in our all our plugins we used to write a retrieve call, organization service dot retrieve. In the retrieve method, instead of using specific columns for an entity, if you use true, so let's say for example in the code, so in the retrieve request, what I've done is instead of giving the column names, I've given this true. So which means like it is a high critical issue in a solution checker, because you need not to fill all the columns in an entity. Like what I'm doing here is I have an entity, custom entity. I need only very few attributes, but instead of retrieving the very few attributes, what I'm doing is I'm retrieving all the attributes, which is a high critical issue, which is a performance impact with respect to the solution checker. So it will throw an error saying like you should not use columns at all set to true. You should use only specific columns, whatever you needed. So let's see this in action, and then one other critical severities. There are like several critical severities, but I'm talking about only very few. So you should not duplicate any plugin registration step. You should always have only one step for one event. So you should avoid a duplicate plugin step registration. And if you're not using any event and an invalid form event registration, say for example, you already have an on load, and you have another on load which you're not using at all. There's no function. So these are the very few I'm listing it out, solution checker. But if you go and deep dive into the solution checker, you can find like there's a lot of severities, which is high, critical, low, medium, and everything. So once you run a solution checker for a solution, it will give you the entire result. You can view like what's happening in your solution. Okay, so I'm going to go to the release 8. So let's see like what's happening to release 8. So you can see like what happened to our gate. So gate got succeeded because we removed our violation. The gate got succeeded now. F540, the gate got succeeded and it's executing the subsequent task. So it got failed. So why it got failed? Let's go and check. Okay, so what's inside the task? So inside the task, let's see like what inside the task first. So inside the task, what I have is I'm just I'm not following any ALM process here, but I'm just trying to import the solution in order to explain the solution checker. Dharani gave a beautiful example, beautiful start for the ALM process, but for the demo purpose, I'm just skipping all these things and I'm just trying to simply import the solution uh, into the subsequent environment, which is a S8 environment in this case. So once my gate pipeline, my Gator check-in is succeeded, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to install the Power Platform build tools here, and then I'm having a Power Platform checker. The Power Platform checker, what is having is then already give an example like what is a service connection. You should connect to your online CRM using an Azure subscription. So then already gave a good example like how do you connect it, and then what's the solution file you are going to run a solution checker for it. So I've given my solution file from the artifacts. After the build has been after our build definition runs it, it will publish all the artifacts. In the from the artifacts, I've selected the my solution file, and the rule set is the solution checker. In the advanced area, I've said like if the error level is on the high, I said only high, and there should be no high level of error threshold. Even if there is a one error of high, just fail the solution. So that's what I've given like fail on power ups, checker analysis error. So what happens is the subsequent steps like the import and the publish or customization will affect and it will not happen. So your solution is protected. So your error solution is protected from moving to the subsequent environments. So now we go and check what happened with the release. So it got failed. So why it got failed? So you can see like the analysis result do not pass the selected error level thresholds. So if we it will be available in the artifacts, but we don't have it here. So I'll try to get the response of it. So you can see like it skipped the subsequent operations and completed the operation because the Power Platform checker validated and validated this error. The column set is set to true, which is a high critical issue, which should not have it. So it has said like your Power Platform checker is failed because due to this reason. But it's a SARF file where you can check like what happened inside it. Let me try to get it, but this is the thing. So I'll quickly summarize like what you have done. So we have enabled a gated check-in and a Git repository where you have a build definition for it. For a master branch, we had a sorry. We had a policies for the master branch. You can have any number of policies you have it here, but I have added only the build policy where the build policy will trigger our build definition. In the build definition, we have a code quality. Hello. Okay, so we have our code quality things in enabled. So what happens is whenever a pull request is made on the master branch, it triggers the build definition. In the build definition, it has the run code analysis, which analyzes the code and pushes the results to the artifact. And once and also the VSS we have it here, so it will trigger all the test cases inside it, and it will give you the result in the. If you see your last run, can see the test cases, and then in the extension where you have the SonarCloud extension, which says the code quality is passed. So if it is failed, it will push the results to the SonarCloud quality gate result. So in the release area, which automatically fires when there is a successful build definition, build is run. So if you go and edit inside it, I have said like whenever there is a successful build, so trigger this release. So it triggers the release, and then in the stage I have defined a pre-deployment condition. In the pre-deployment condition, I have the gated check-in being enabled here. So if I expand it, I have added the gated deployment gates. I've added the Sonar quality gate status. So it gets the gate status from the build definition and checks whether the gate has been passed or failed. So it just runs and gets the gate result. So if the gate has been successful, and it is executes the subsequent tasks. In the task, we have the solution checker, path one checker. In the situation checker, we are giving the solution which build using our pack condition and the build definition. It just runs the solution checker for us and gives us the result. In the advanced area, I've set the threshold like even if there is a one high critical issue, this failed the operation here, which will fail the subsequent our import solution and publish customization operations. So our solutions will not be imported from dev instance to the UAT instance. So that's the overall about the SonarCloud analysis. I use SonarCloud for my development purposes, for the code analysis purposes, but it can be anything. You can use any of your tools and any of your even not like Dharani said. You can use not just DevOps. You can use any other Jenkins or any other DevOps or platforms to enable this code analysis and the solution checker for you. Any questions you can ask me. Hello, Ras. Hello.
Hello there, Pradesh. Thanks again for that.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. So are you finished? Are you ready for questions now? Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm
excellent.
Done.
Excellent. So yes. So can I first of all thank you again? That was a really good session, and really was perfectly timed. Quality gating and code quality, as well as showcasing the solution checker. Now, there is a question by Phil. Who's asking, but he wants to see, can I see the issues that SonarCloud is going to find locally in Visual Studio before running a build pipeline? Does Sonar Lint use the same rule set?
Yes, correct. No, you can run it before putting in the pipeline. You can have it to the local also. Yeah, you can do that.
So that's obviously that's obviously a great quality checking mechanism. I mean, I have a question in terms of licensing, because I think the industry standard that we tend to use SonarCube, and so in terms of pricing, are you able to share details around that?
Oh, the pricing. Okay, so I would check, but we're using SonarCloud community version is there, which executes around like 1 lakh lines of code, which is free. But if you want to use more than that, there is I'll drop the link here so you can find what's the pricing here, what's the pricing for the use SonarCloud.
And I have a question. How is it different to ReSharper?
Sorry?
If you're comparing it to ReSharper. Oh, here we go. So here's another question. Sorry. So Pervez, hi Pervez, he's asking, is it possible to extend configure the rules checked by Power Apps Solution Checker?
You mean the SonarCloud,
huh? That's what. Sorry. SonarCloud. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, no. He's asking actually Power Apps Solution Checker. Sorry. Yes, so he's asking how to extend and
Okay.
configure rules for
So
Power
far,
Application.
I'm not sure about it. So far, I think so far there is no rules to extend it, but maybe in a future release we can expect. I believe.
Okay, so we've had a question related to SonarCloud, and we've had a question related to the Solution Checker. So yeah, a lot of people asking about getting their hands on SonarCloud.
Yeah,
And oh,
you can try.
there you go.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Whale has answered like you can't extend at the moment. So yeah, it's true. Like we can't extend the solution checker at the
and
moment.
then Phil is also mentioning, he's saying that you can remove some of the rules checked by Power Apps Checker, or change the priority, but you can't add new checks. So lots of great feedback from the community there.
But it's like no, in the Power Apps build tools we don't have the provision to it. But I think in the commandlets or in the other areas to where you use the solution checker, you can do that. I believe.
Great stuff. So we still got 8 minutes. I think your session was very well explained. So you got to the point, and I think people can clearly see the value.
Right.
So it's So I think is a very important part of DevOps, the LM CI/CD pipeline and process. So so I think it really fits into the puzzle really well for the entire journey. Is there any other things that you'd like to share, any tips you'd like to share with the community?
So yeah, so as part of my experience, right, I'll tell you like this gave us a good exposure to the. So we have like a big huge team like 20 plus people, so you can't control, you can't go peer checking manually, go and do the checkings and all, and it's a very tedious project. No, we have like deployments going every one weekly wise. So what happens is we found a way like SonarCloud was really helpful for us. After adding SonarCube, we try to deliver a good quality code to our customers. The customers also wanted a good quality code in their environments, so we're able to push it using SonarCloud, but just not for SonarCloud. Like any quality tools, you can use it to in your project. You can try it with any trial versions. You can play around with it and try to implement it. And I think it's as part of the ALM process. It's very important to have an gated check-in, and it's very mandatory. I believe. I think.
In fact, you've actually raised a very good point. Actually, Phil has asked a question. He's saying, how long does it take to build validation pipelines to run in your experience? So how long is this normally taking?
It depends. It totally depends. Like what you are planning to have inside your pipeline. So, I would say like less than a day or maybe less.
Yeah.
Or even less. Yeah.
Yep. So Phil, so he's saying that you can do it all within a day. But I've got a question. In fact, this is a common issue actually around build pipelines, is around your branch and merge strategy for your development team. That's often a common challenge on Dynamics projects. I know I'm stoking up the fires here, guys, but I thought since we've got 5 minutes, I'm happy to entertain that discussion as to what your strategy is on your branching and merging for your development teams.
So my branching policy is like we have our master branch, and we also have our dev branch, which is obvious. And we work on agile projects, so we have different user stories assigned to one developers or a team of developers. So what we do is we try to build a feature branches. So each team will have their own feature branch. If the team will work on their feature branch, and at the point of release, we try to merge it with the dev branch. So the dev branch will have the build pipelines. So it will run all the validations and the Sonar cube on it. So after a valid build definition, it will push us to the code to the master branch. In the same wise, each team will have their own feature branch, so they'll not depend upon other teams' code. At the time of the merging operations, where the approver or a scrum master will sit together and then try to merge all the code at the dev stage, the dev branch. So that's the strategy we use for our project, but strategies might differ from project to requirement to requirement. So that's the strategy we use actually, and it's very quite easy for us and maintainable.
So Pervez is saying if you implement a peer code review process as part of your pull request, then the validation build will likely complete running before the code review has even completed.
Sorry, if you implement a peer code review process as part of your
yeah, I'm guessing that process.
Yeah, so in the branch policies, right? We have an area like an approver. Okay, there's always a place where you can approve. So if I go here, right? So branches, go to the branch policies. So it's like required a minimum number of reviewers, like how many people to review a code. So it's like you can have your reviewers also here, but no, sometimes human does make errors. So it's always good to have an automated tool like SonarCloud to run it. You can use any tools, but yeah.
Okay, so look, it's great to see. I can see Geordie Montana is online as well as Whale. They're all providing very good feedback, and also Phil Cole is saying that Whale's build tool is actually far quicker than MS build tools. That's interesting feedback for those people looking at the different build tools available.
I should try it too. Yeah, definitely. I will give it a try.
So yes, so very good questions.
Yeah, so this is why I'm flashing my details. So if you want, have any more questions on it, you can definitely drop a thing in the LinkedIn or my email address is there. You can drop a email.
So again, everyone, thanks once again, Pradesh. Pradesh is always doing some really good level 400 sessions all the time. And there you got his connection details. Please connect with him on LinkedIn, on Twitter, email as well. Follow him on his blog. Pradesh, please share your contact details. I'm sure lots of people would like to stay in contact with you.
Sure.
This is a community. I think this is 365 Saturday has always been the central hub for the developer community, and it's great that we're carrying on. For a while we stopped addressing the level 300 400, and it's great that during COVID that's helped us get back on track and get back to our roots on why we're here in the first place, to support the developer community more than anything else. Microsoft has a very strong vision around the low-code platform for citizen developers, and that's fantastic. But again, for those in the trenches, for those heavily involved in the complex implementations in the real world, we have to, development is our daily bread and butter, and we do work in the software industry, and it is a reality for all of us here. So again, it's great to see we've got lots of new proponents for better approaches to development. We began with Geordie and Whale, Barris, Scott, Jason Latimer. We have all these advocates of better development practices for the Dynamics and Power Platform community. It's great to see that we have, a new generation coming forward. So I'm really, really happy that we're addressing these topics, and we are to the end of our hour now. So thanks again, Pradesh. And we are now on to our next session. And without further ado, I'd like. Yes, thank you. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Ambesh. So Ambesh is a highly active member of the community. Ambesh is currently resides in Germany, working for KPMG. He's a solution architect. Ambesh, are you with us?
Yes, thank you so much.
Excellent, Ambesh. Can you please share your screen, please?
I'm just quickly sharing my screen, and